Well, here we are, 12:30 at night.
Why would you say that when people don't listen to this show like immediately after we record it?
I don't know.
Us doing the show at 12:30 at night is not going to change anything. Other than the fact that I'd be pissed off at you a lot faster than normal.
We're a couple of sleepy boys.
I'm not sleepy. I'm normally up this time of night. I'm already pissed off at you.
I am too, but I just worked 8 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Me too, bro. Me too.
Have you heard of the underwear that has like the pocket for your dick?
This is the second conversation I've had of this just today. Absolutely.
Oh, really?
We talked about it, and my executive producer, a Fat Guy Radio Show, actually owns a pair and rocks a pair, and that explains why he always looks like he has a half chub, because it pulls everything kind of forward.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And
I don't think that's a good thing.
I don't know. I would imagine
that's embarrassing.
I would imagine that being the inadequate size that I am, it wouldn't affect me at all.
Yeah, same.
Everything would just slip back out of the little front pocket.
You know those socks with the toe cutouts?
No,
you know,
I'm not familiar.
Where, like the sock, each toe has like a separate compartment.
Oh yeah, the little glove socks.
Yeah, like the glove socks. That's like what it is for your dick. But I can't imagine that's comfortable.
I've gotten first. My executive producer says they are tremendously comfortable.
What is up, boyos? This is the Jake and Cory podcast. I am Jake. That is Cory. What is up, Cory?
What up, Jake?
You know, not much. Just here talking to you at 12:30 at night. I know you don't want me to mention it, but I just did.
Well, it's in radio they call it an evergreen. And our show is evergreen. We don't hit current events and current topics, so the timing of mentioning timing on our show doesn't make that much of a difference. But it's okay if you say that we're recording this at 12:30, and the reason why we're recording this at 12:30 is because you can't control your life.
That's true, dude. I seriously have no control over what happens in my life.
That's ridiculous.
People dictate what I do, where I'm supposed to be, what time I'm supposed to be there. It's the worst.
You need to grow some balls so you can fill out that underwear that's got the hole cut out in the front.
It's got a hole cut out. Now we're getting somewhere.
Now we're getting somewhere, especially the fact that you showed up to work today in pants. Jake, can I ask you if something sounds delicious?
Please.
Okay. God damn it, Instagram. See, this is why I hate Instagram. I pulled this thing up. I had it resting on my phone. I said that I had it all set up, ready to go. I back out of it to try to go back into it, and Instagram resets, and now the ad is gone.
It's the worst, man.
God dang it, son of a monkey. Hold on.
It's the same thing with Facebook, dude. I don't understand how these are the biggest platforms, and I think they're both just trash.
How can you do that? It resets, and then it's just gone out into atmosphere. It's just gone out into cyberspace, and you can never get it back. I could be sitting here scrolling for days, and I'll never see that freaking advertisement again.
You're the only person I know that's like, ooh, I want to see that ad.
Because I wanted to, ooh, let me see that ad. Ooh, let me see
girl,
that ad.
let me see that ad.
Hey, girl, let me see that ad. Okay, now I got the actual Instagram page up. Okay.
Just trying to deflect from the politics that we're going to get into.
I am. I'm trying to bring some flavor and stuff like that to the show. Okay, so, God dang it. My fat fingers. This is why we don't do shows at 12:30 in the morning. Because my fucking fingers don't work.
Oh, man.
All right, hold on. Here we go. All right, there we go. Okay, Jake.
Take your time. We're not doing anything.
No, we're not doing anything. We'll fix this in post.
Yeah. Will we? I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, Jake. A wild Maine blueberry pie sitting on top, light lemon frosting, sitting on top of a New York cheesecake that's sitting on top of a Southern red velvet cake.
Ugh.
All of those, wild Maine blueberry pie, light lemon frosting, New York cheesecake, and Southern red velvet cake, all on top, known as the 4th of July pie cakin'.
No.
Made by Gold Belly.
No.
No?
No.
You stand alone, my friend. Guess how much?
That's too much, dude. That's just too much.
Guess how much that pie cakin' will set you back?
I don't know, $100.
Almost $89 for that pie cakin'.
I believe it.
And Jake,
who made it?
It's made by
Cheesecake Factory?
No, it's made by Gold Belly, which is, I think they're just, I'm looking at their Instagram page here. I honestly think they're just an online bakery. They're a pie cake and bake shop. I don't think they have like a storefront. They're just all online baked goods. And you can order this cake and it will set you back $89 for the pie cake. And I'll try to hold the picture up for you to see if maybe you can see it.
Yeah, that looks fucking horrible, dude.
No, you wouldn't go in on that?
I would like take sections of that, but that's just too much.
Jake, it's sold out. It's literally sold out.
That's gross.
On their website.
Like, I don't know. I don't think I like sweets much, man.
Really?
Like, if someone were like, here's a cake and here's a bowl of pretzels, 90% of the time I'm going for those pretzels.
I don't know. I would like it because of the wild Maine blueberry, the lemon frosting. The lemon and the blueberry is going to play very well. And then you've got
but red velvet?
Then you got the cheesecake and the red velvet. And I think that the cheese would actually, the cheesecake would actually play very well with the red velvet. I think it'd be a beautiful bite. The question that I would have would be that blueberry and the red velvet. I don't see how those seem like they would be
out of all of
flavors.
Out of all of them, I feel like the red velvet is the most out of place.
I would agree. The red velvet seems like
get rid of that, and I might be interested.
Then it's not. Well, yeah, it'd still be.
I don't even like red velvet cake to begin with. I don't even know what that flavor is. What is red velvet? Was it cloth? I don't want to eat cloth.
Yes, it's cloth.
I'm not gonna eat cloth, dude. That's disgusting.
Red velvet is cloth, also known as cotton. And you just get yourself some of that, mix in some red food coloring, some sugar, and throw it in a pan, and you got a red velvet cake.
What does velvet mean? What is that word?
I think velvet has to do with the texture of the cake.
I thought velvet was a cloth.
Velvet, it can be a cloth as well, but I'll find out what the dictionary of the definition of velvet.
Or is it a color?
I think
is velvet a color?
You are right. Velvet is a closely woven fabric of silk, cotton, and nylon that has a thick, short pile on one side. So the reason why they call it red velvet cake is because it's red and it's supposed to be silky in texture.
Smooth, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
silky
why it's
and
a
smooth
red
and
velvet.
made of cloth.
Right. But it really is nothing but more than just a white cake with extra eggs or extra oil or something like that to make it silky.
It's just like food coloring, right?
Yeah, you wouldn't go for the pie cake in though, no?
Nah, not interested. Turducken, though, I'm all in.
Believe it or not, I probably would pass on the pie cake.
I get it. It's the fourth. It's red, white, and blue. Oh.
We are both idiots. I just put that together, too.
I just didn't even... The cheesecake is white, and the red velvet, and the
blueberries.
Wow.
Wow, we are stupid at 12:30 at night.
Where are we? What's happening?
I didn't even put that together either. I was so pissed off that you wore pants. I mean, I don't know what the hell is going on right now. I didn't get it. That's why the red velvet has to be there, because there's no other red cake.
Yeah, that's true. What is another cherry pie? Is a cake, I guess.
Cherry pie. No, cherry pie is a pie. Duh.
I would consider cheesecake a pie as well.
No.
We could get into the semantics of this.
No, cheesecake is cake, bro.
I don't know. But it's got pie crust.
Pie doesn't have eggs in it. The pie mixture doesn't have eggs. Cheesecake has eggs.
Since when?
Cheesecake is made with eggs, bro.
I thought it was just cheese.
No, that's a quesadilla.
But it's on pie crust, though.
It's not. It's on. Well, actually, it's not on
pie crust.
No, an actual cheesecake is actually on
graham crackers.
Cracker crust.
But it's like a pie crust.
No, it's cooked in a pie
crackers.
tin, which is making your inferior mind think it's a pie crust.
But you can make pie crust out of graham crackers.
You can make pie crust out of sand. It doesn't make it a pie.
Come on now.
You're
not going to make a pie crust out of cake batter, though.
No, you wouldn't make pie crust out of a cake batter. You actually, that would be actually interesting. You would have to make it very thick. It would have to be in order to hold its shape. So you would probably have to use a lot of flour to hold its shape.
Whilst we're on
food,
while we're talking about food and savory dishes.
Hey, we made it 16 minutes or so into the show, and we haven't even said the C word, even though you did say the P word, politics. But we haven't said the C word.
We'll get there because there's something to talk about. But I came up with a genius idea.
Let me guess. Is it begging your co-host to do a show at 12:30 at night and then not wearing pants?
But the genius idea I came up with was, do you like French toast? How do you feel about French toast?
I love French toast. I take French toast over pancakes and waffles any day of the week.
But how do you feel about waffles?
I'm okay with waffles. I would take waffles over pancakes, but waffles are more difficult to cook properly.
That's true.
So the way that I rank it would be French toast, waffles, pancakes.
I would flip pancakes and waffles personally, but the genius idea I had was a French toast waffle.
Done it.
Yeah? Does it work?
Yeah, it works. I've done it.
How does it taste?
Tastes like a waffle. It tastes like French toast that's in a waffle shape.
Well, you kind of took the wind out of my sails.
I'm sorry. Dude, you're
very excited.
You're talking to the Instagram chef here. Of course I've tried it. I put
Dude, I was like, wait a minute, I'm going to make a restaurant out of this. How has no one done this before? Like, this is the most genius idea I've ever had. And then you're over here, well, I did it. I did it this morning, actually.
I've put hot dogs in my waffle maker. I put, of course, waffles.
You put hot dogs in your waffle maker?
Yes, I've made a waffle hot dog.
What the hell?
A hot dog waffle. Absolutely. You take a hot dog and you cut it into very, very thin strips. You put it in with some eggs to make a binder, a little flour, just a smidge of flour, and then it makes it the hot dogs into like a thick little, like you make it into a little thick little patty, and you put it inside of the waffle maker. You close the waffle maker, and it cooks. And then you serve it with
I almost threw up.
You serve it with some melted cheese. It was an experiment, and it was pretty good.
I almost threw up. I hate hot dogs, dude.
I put macaroni and cheese in a waffle maker.
That sounds all right.
Yeah.
That sounds okay. But dude, hot dogs just taste like vomit.
Hot dogs is what's left over before they make the Spam. Now, here's what's interesting. If you hate hot dogs, you probably hate Spam too.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. I'd rather have Spam than hot dogs.
Oh, I love Spam. And have I ever told you my weird ass way of how
fried
I consume?
Spam is all right.
Have I told you how I consume Spam? It's a very weird way.
I'd love to hear.
I use it as a breakfast meat that I put on top of my cinnamon brown sugar oatmeal.
That sounds all right.
Sweet and salty.
A little salt to the mix.
Yeah, because, I mean, you put salt. You should put at least a pinch of salt in your water and milk combination when you're making oatmeal. I don't make oatmeal out of the packages. I make it from actual scratch oatmeal. And when you're setting the water to boil, you put a pinch of salt in there, and you need that salt. There's always salt that elevates the level of sweet. That's why
I
there's
think
salt in cake, there's salt in puddings, there's salt in thing. Everything that's sweet has some layer of salt in it because salt is a flavor enhancer.
yeah, well, and it diffuses the sweetness a little
It
too.
does, but when I prepare my spam, I take my spam, I cut it into strips, and I shallow pan fry it with a little bit of olive oil. I sprinkle on a little bit of uh, onion powder, some paprika, and some pepper, and I just sear the outside of the spam, creating a nice little crust, almost like bacon on the outside, and then you
Yeah,
still have that spammy texture on the inside. And then I put it on top of my oatmeal. Love it that way.
I feel like spam is so. This is a weird statement, but I feel like spam is so flavorful as it is.
It
You
really
don't
is.
need to.
It's a sodium bomb, but
Yeah,
I like to enhance it a little bit more. And if you want to kick it up a notch and make it really really delicate, decadent, you would put in half a teaspoon of oil of butter in your olive oil, then sear your spam.
you don't even need to put oil in it because it's so damn greasy already.
It is, but I like to develop that crust. Now, when I'm making spam tacos, I sprinkle the spam with a little bit of cumin, pepper, and some red chili powder.
How do you say the word oregano?
Oregano, just like that. You think I was going to say oregano?
Oregano. I've heard people say that.
From the Midwest, they say oregano. They also say, "Can I have a soda instead of can I have, or can I have pop instead of soda?"
Yeah, we say soda here
Yeah,
in Arizona.
I say, "Can I have some high fructose corn syrup mixed with some carbonated water?"
Yeah. Speaking of being from Arizona, we had a special event here last week.
Hey, we win. We're number one. We're number one. Oh, the other special.
Oh shit!
Hey, let me turn my air conditioning up real quick. I'm feeling a little sick. Let me change the filter.
Oh man.
Had a lot of respect for that church. I don't know where I stand now.
You had respect for. Okay, so what we're talking about is Donald Trump came to Arizona.
Yep. He came to Yuma
Phoenix.
first to see a quarter of a wall, and then he flew into Phoenix.
Yeah, he went to this church, and man, it was so weird how that all went down. So the church starts out. The church is called Dream City, and I'm just gonna put them on blast because they're just a bunch of idiots. It was a church called Dream City. And before he came, they said they installed a filtration system in their air vents that gets rid of 98% of the COVID that's in the air.
Now let me give you
Where's that science coming from? Where was that?
that it was so false that video went viral so instantly. Let me give you this for those of you that may be listening to this that's not familiar with this church. This is an Arizona mega church. It's one of the biggest churches in the state, if not the biggest church in the state. Seats 6,000 people. It's a huge church, and it's up on this hill. People call it. It's the real name is Dream Center Church, but a lot of people refer to it as the church on the hill, and where all of the big evangelists, TV evangelist people come. When they come to Phoenix, they hold conferences and everything. There, Joyce Myers and T.D. Jakes and Joel Osteen, all of those guys have
All those fucking losers.
all of them have graced the stage of this church. So Trump comes because, Talking Stick Resort Arena in downtown Phoenix is currently under construction. And the other arenas, I don't believe are even open. And the Veterans Memorial Coliseum, where he came last time, is currently under contract for the Phoenix Suns plays and practices. So he goes to Dream City Church.
So there's a lot to unpack here. It's good for us to go back last week when we were recording the show last week on Saturday. He did a rally in Tulsa,
Oklahoma. I wish I had my sound effects machine connected right now.
Would you play like some Western music or something?
No, I would play some crickets.
There's that musical about Oklahoma.
I would play that too. Oh
But
my.
he goes to Tulsa, and I watched it. I watched pretty much the entire thing. And first of all, everyone there is not wearing a mask, including our president,
Yep.
Donald Trump, not wearing a mask. But before he comes out, he has a bunch of speakers, and at one point he had a couple speakers, these two ladies that were out there, and they were out there just saying Jim Crow Joe. They were calling him Jim
What?
Crow Joe. Yeah, you didn't see any of that on the news.
I didn't watch it at all, and I have actually gone into, side note, news blackout since Saturday. I can't take much. I couldn't take it anymore. I've been news blackout all week. I don't know what the numbers are. I don't know where we are. I just know bits and pieces of stuff that I've tripped over on Twitter. That's it.
Well, I might drop some bombs on you because
they're all going to be
I'm all
bombs
in.
because I don't know anything about it. I disconnected this last week.
So I watched most of it, and I've never seen a more hateful group of people gathered. Like, it was just the whole thing. His whole platform is right, good, left, bad.
Yeah, there's no in between.
Yeah, what's your
That's been his
position?
platform his whole time. He has no position.
But he really seems like he's like double downing on that.
It's going to get
this
worse
time.
as we get closer and closer to November, man. It's going to get worse. He is going to ramp up like a son of a bitch. It is it is visceral is what it is. It's visceral. It is the most lowest form of politicking that I have ever experienced in my years of knowing anything about politics.
Dude, it was hard to watch. I was just like, I can't believe that this is real life. Just the things that man says. It's like, I'm so baffled for multiple reasons. Like, first reason is like, how is he dumb enough to say all this shit? But then, like, how are people supporting him still? And a large group of them are Christians, and it's like, what are you talking? How? And it kind of,
dude. You realize that this man, before he was even elected, on his first campaign, said that he could stand out in the middle of Fifth Avenue in New York and shoot someone, and people will still follow him.
Yeah, and he wasn't wrong.
And that's exactly what's happened. I'm telling you, if
it's terrifying, dude.
And for, you know, to round it out, dude, it's not like we've got, you know, a better alternative in Uncle Joe. You know, I mean, it's literally
better.
It's literally, do you want hell or do you want fire? I mean, we are screwed no matter which way it goes, but I'm of the mind at this point where anything is going to be better than what we currently have. We can't have race baiting. We can't have...
Well, the way I look at it is, if you're on a diet, right, and you want to watch your calories, basically, Donald Trump is like a Baconator. Super unhealthy and really bad for you. And Joe Biden is sort of he's like a junior cheeseburger deluxe.
I was gonna
still
think
bad
more,
for you.
I was gonna think more like a watered down milkshake.
A vanilla one.
A very vanilla.
Because he's bad too, but at least his whole platform right now is decency, which I can get behind that, I guess. That's
the thing is that that Biden is a lighter form of Clinton, and he's run for president multiple times. This is the first time I believe he got the actual nomination, and I think that was just by default. But
has he run for president before?
Yeah, he is just he's a career politician, and unfortunately, that was what actually was the catalyst behind putting Orange Face in the White House, is that people were tired of the career politicians and they went to Trump. And then we can't, people can't say they didn't know what they were going to get with him, because he clearly has not changed since the day he was elected. He has not changed. He is who he says he is, and you can't fault him for that. And people are just so gullible enough. I believe the reason why he was elected is because people were done with career politicians. I'm hoping that people are now going to realize how detrimental this presidency has been for this country for the last 4 years. Good economy or jobs reports are not good enough to maintain the prestige of the presidency is gone. It's ruined. It's stained forever.
Dude, and especially with COVID, it is such a great example of how bad he is at leading. So, actually, Trevor Noah of The Daily Show posted this. It was funny, but also kind of like, oh, shit.
It was beautiful.
He posted the stats. I don't know if you saw this. It was all the stats, and all the other countries, all their lines went down.
Yep.
And ours went down and then went right back to where it was. And he's like, look, we flattened the curve.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
Like,
we didn't flatten the curve. We bent it.
Yeah,
we bent
did.
the curve.
We made a fucking horseshoe.
That I'm hoping, man, and I'm not saying Biden is going to be much better, but I'm hoping that this COVID thing is what's going to be the nail in his coffin. I really do.
But it's not.
But people are so stupid. If this thing,
because now COVID has turned into a political issue when it's not political at all.
It's not political at all. Everybody makes everything. Everybody makes everything 100% political, even down to wearing the mask. 100% political. I literally was contacted by an agency here in Arizona for B2B radio network, and they said, look, is there any support? Would you like to join us in campaigning or sharing with your audience Masking Up Arizona? And I said yes. So we created a Mask Up Arizona image that we put out on our social media, and then I wrote a commercial that I was going to play on my show for hashtag Mask Up Arizona. And I was writing this commercial, and then I erased it all. And I said, you know what? This is so simple. Masking is so simple. I'm going to rewrite this commercial, and I'm going to have my 10-year-old niece record it. And we produced a commercial for Mask Up Arizona by a 10-year-old because it's just so simple. It's just absolutely so simple. There's nothing political about trying to protect yourself and protect others. There's nothing political about that. That's just called human decency. But when you have someone at the tippy top of society that lacks all levels of human decency, of course you're going to have people that are going to protest something as simple as wearing a mask. It starts from the top. He doesn't care about anything. So everyone below him are going to find reasons to not care about things that are just part of being a human, just part of being kind, just a part of being smart.
Well, and I think, like, I agree with you 100%. And I think, COVID has really, it's made all of us stay at home. And it's really made us just sit back and think about what the real issues are, right?
And people don't even want to do that. People don't even want to stay home. I understand that there are people out there that can't. You're one of those individuals. I understand that what you do in your line of work, you cannot stay at home. What you do, there is no way for you to telecommute unless you have unless you have robots, you know, and you're controlling the robots from your house or whatever, which are really cool. I would love to have a Jake robot.
Well, and it's making us rethink the entire fabric of our country, right? Because on multiple levels, it makes us sit back and think, and even if people want to go out, they can't because everything's closed. At least it was. And
everything's closing again, not because the government said to close. It's because these business owners are fending for themselves now. They don't feel safe coming to work, so they're actually having some human decency and saying, look, I don't feel safe going into my restaurant. I'm not going to make my employees come into my restaurant.
Right. And it's making people sit back and think, what are the issues with our country? Issue number one that I think comes to everyone's mind, and I don't know how it couldn't, is how come everyone who is an essential worker, everyone who's considered an essential worker, the grocery clerks, the bus drivers, caregivers, teachers even, everyone who is an essential worker is incredibly underpaid. And why is that? It makes us think, for our entire system to run still, we need the people who get paid the least to still continue to work. And we're starting to realize that maybe the investors and shit, and yeah, I'm ripping a lot of this from Jon Stewart, but I just think it was so poignant what he said is, a lot of the investor class, they're not important. They're not what keep us going. And you kind of realize when something like this hits, the numbers and the investors and the money and all of it is made up. It's all fake.
It doesn't mean anything.
It all doesn't matter. What matters is just keeping everyone alive, fed, and moving.
Yeah, the farmers, the little people that we don't see, the agriculturists that are in these warm, humid climates, making our food, growing our food. The Walmart greeter is now an essential worker, because he knows where the olives are. You know what I mean? You are absolutely right, 100%. It's a proof that it's revealed that those people that we have given so much fake power to, we've put the wrong people on the pedestal, is what we've done. And COVID has revealed this. It's the wrong people on the pedestal. We put the big money makers on the pedestal, but they wouldn't be and I've been saying this for years, they wouldn't be the big money makers, the big investors, if it wasn't for the little small people.
Yeah. And, it's kind of proof that Reagan is full of shit. Trickle down is bullshit.
Yeah, there's no trickle down. It falls into a vat.
I'm glad you brought up agriculture, because I always hear this statement that's like, capitalism is so important, and capitalism is the reason that we care about things and the reason that we exist and can have cities and civilizations. And it's like, no, agriculture is the reason we can have cities and civilizations.
Yeah.
Because we had cities and civilizations before capitalism because of agriculture, So
it's the reason why
people get it twisted.
It's the reason why a lot of cities exist. They exist around agriculture, and we're not just talking about growing crops. Why is Phoenix Phoenix? Because of its dirt. Phoenix was settled because of its ground. Mm-hmm. When the trailblazers came out to the west, they found that Phoenix was, I believe it was maybe rich in copper or something of that nature, that Phoenix was rich in, but it wasn't because, and Phoenix had no water. They had to literally go up to Nevada and pull water in. It's called the Salt River Project. They had to pull water into this valley because they wanted to develop a city around what the ground, the agriculture was of the city. That's what Phoenix was designed on. That's why Phoenix established itself as a city. Arizona established itself as a one of the reasons why the states fought for Arizona with Mexico, because of what the ground had to offer. Yeah. Agriculture starts it all.
Yeah, it's the whole reason we exist. And I don't want people to think I'm like anti-capitalist or whatever.
No, I'm a capitalist. I'm a business owner. I know what it's like to be capitalist, but I understand what the basis of capitalism is. And you have to recognize that and honor that.
I also don't think there's anything wrong with wanting a better system.
I think when we talk about our system being broken, a part of me, Jake, thinks that the system is kind of like when you call the help desk IT person for your job that something's wrong with your computer. They come in, they fix your computer, but then they end up breaking something else. And I'm afraid that if we ever really gut our system, which I don't think will ever happen, I think we'll end up breaking it more than repairing it because it's so far
Yeah.
broken. I mean, dude, there comes a point where something is so broken it's impossible to be repaired. And we may be at that level. The glass has been shattered. No, none of that Gorilla Glue. There's none of that Gorilla Tape is going to be able to put back this system that we have allowed to break because we kept sending in so many IT help desk people to come in and fix a little part that was broken. And then what they ended up doing was shattering the actual foundation of the system. And once the foundation of the system is broken, you can build everything that you want on top of it. It will all eventually crumble.
Well, and yeah, it might be beyond repair now, but there, and that kind of brings me to my second point is like when you're sitting in your house and you're just thinking about what's wrong with the country as well. And you just start thinking about the system and what we live in, and we don't have any of the distractions anymore. We're just thinking about how does this work, and we have a system that was built and founded by racism. We have a system that was started just on each person on their own. We have a system that glorifies companies more than its people. We have a system that is funded by companies.
It's owned by companies.
Yeah, it's owned by companies. And nothing will get changed until that changes.
And when you think about companies and you think about these large corporations and you think about these shadow shell companies too that are out there that are just, they don't even really provide a service. They literally just move around money. When you think about companies, you think about like people that work for large corporations. The people at the top, they don't even know you exist. You are a number to them. You are a fraction to them. You're not a real person. You're not a mother. You're not a father. You're not a dad. You're not a brother. You're not a sister. You're not an uncle. You're not an aunt. You're not a person. You're a number. And you're not even an individual number. You're a part of a group of numbers that are combined down to be fed to the ones at the top so they get an overall picture. You're no one. So when we have a country that is built and owned and can be bought and sold by companies, they don't see the fact that we're individuals. They don't see the fact that we're people. They don't see the fact that we have power. And systematically, they have changed our own view of ourselves. We no longer see ourselves as powerful. We no longer see ourselves as an individual, as a human being. We see ourselves too small, powerless, cowardless. We because we don't have the money. We don't have the money, so we can't, we can't make change. I've said this for a very long time. The day that the American people realize that we are more powerful in our numbers, once we realize that, that's when shit will start to really change. Because then the ones that are at the helm, at the head, their numbers are very, very few. We talk about the 1%ers. How the fuck can 1% have control over 99%? The numbers don't add up, but we've been systematically programmed to believe that the 1% control it all. Why? Because they've told us they control it all.
And I think people are starting to realize this. I saw it was a group of protesters, during all the protests going on. And this one lady just sort of said some things to the cops And the cops decided, you know what? We're going to take her to the ground, cuff her, put her in the back of the car, and drive away. And they tried to drive away, and all the protesters just stood in front of that cop car, and they're like, nope, you get her out. She didn't do anything wrong. And they got her out of the car and let her go because she didn't do anything wrong. I think the people are starting to realize, oh,
we are powerful, man. 99%.
A Bug's Life. A Bug's Life is a perfect example.
Oh, dude, that is a perfect example.
It's exactly what is our experience, you know, because it's like the government is the grasshoppers and we're the ants.
Yep.
But there's more of us.
That's a beautiful example. That is a beautiful, timely example, Jake, you beautiful, timely young man. That's perfect. We are the Bug's Life, folks, and America needs to realize that. And when America realizes, look how many congressmen and senators we have on the Hill. They're a fraction of the population. They're a fraction of the fraction of the fraction of the population. When the population, the true people of America come together with one voice, they have no choice but to listen. We don't realize how powerful we are. And the only reason, and I've learned this in my studies of human behavior, the only way someone has power over you is if you give it to them. You give them the power. You give them the ability to tell you that you're less than. You give them the ability to make you feel like they are superior to you because of their status, because of their money, because of the banks, because of the fact that they can pick up the phone and make some calls. That's further from the truth. 99% of us could make change if we came together as a strong 99. But because we are fearful of the 1%, the 99 stays in the shadows because that's where we've been programmed and we've been made to feel like we are less than. I'm sorry, I'm not a mathematician, but the last time I checked, 99 is a bigger number than 1.
And we're starting to see the protests actually paying off in a lot of ways.
They are paying off in a lot of ways,
minimal.
But they're not it. They're not it because that is still 20% of us that are out there protesting. Not 99% of us.
COVID has a lot to do with that too, though.
COVID does have a lot to do with that. And I'm on one side note here. If I hear another motherfucker say that the COVID cases are going up because of the protest, I'm going to puke. Johns Hopkins University actually released a study that said that the people that are coming down with COVID after all of the protests began were not even have admitted that they haven't even been part of the protest. I'm not saying they did not say that it is emphatically none, but the protests are not behind the fact that the cases are going up.
Well, and the interesting thing, we went on a really long tangent there because we were
talking about where were we going?
We were talking about the Trump rally in Arizona.
Oh yeah. That motherfucker just spins off everything inside of me. And I hate young people too. Just want to put that out.
How dare you?
I'm sorry. You selfish bastards. Well, not you, Jake. You're outside of the realm right now.
I don't know, man. I disagree with that statement, but that's a different discussion for a different time.
Trump rally.
So the Trump rally, the interesting thing about Tulsa, he went to Tulsa last week, and there's been a dramatic spike in the numbers in Tulsa since last week.
Before they even opened up the doors for the Tulsa rally, 6 of his campaign workers tested positive for the coronavirus.
Yeah.
I have to ask my God for forgiveness every time I hear the coronavirus getting closer and closer to Trump, because I have a very impure thought.
Yeah.
And I don't ever want to wish ill upon anybody. I don't care how despicable of a person that they are. I don't even wish ill upon the KKK. I don't. Because I'm a firm believer that everybody is made in God's eyes. But I have a very impure thought every time I hear that the coronavirus is getting closer to him.
Yeah.
And I have to ask my God for forgiveness. I really do, because it's a horrible thought.
Yeah. At this point, I think it's just a matter of time. And I'm not wishing it upon him or anything, but just being realistic, like, I think it's just a matter of time. And also, the dude is old and he's out of shape. Like, I don't know how well he'd handle it if he got it too.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. We made a prediction that, because we're in July, we're headed into July, and we were trying to, guess what the hell July was going to bring, and I imagine that, there's going to be a vaccine and there'll be a vaccine in July, and then some very powerful people will get the coronavirus, like, the day after the vaccine is released, and then they won't have to suffer at all. And also the vaccine will make every white baby that's born come out black.
Hey, I'm down with that.
But no, six of his staffers tested positive for the coronavirus hours before they opened up the doors in Oklahoma.
That's insane, dude. And then, so in Phoenix, I watched some of the live streams that were going on because there were some people outside protesting peacefully.
Yeah, there was a handful of people. Yeah,
and
it's kind of hard to protest on a hill.
Yeah, one of my friends was peacefully protesting and Instagramming, doing the live thing, and out of nowhere, all of the cops just decided, hey, they're a little too close, and they pepper sprayed everyone.
Really? Outside of the Dream Center?
Yeah, no one's really talking about that because now that's just commonplace and the news doesn't even want to talk about it. But I watched it happen live.
Wow.
They were just standing there and they just pepper sprayed them.
Kind of sounds like something that happened when somebody needed to hold up a Bible incorrectly in front of a burnt down church.
Exactly. And I think it did have something to do with, like, I think Trump was wrapping up or something. But still, it's just crazy. How can this man, the people who support him just have to ask themselves this question. Why is it that this man always attracts such negative attention? No other, sure, Obama got some hate, and death threats even. George Bush obviously got a lot of hate back in the day too. I remember.
So did Clinton. So did
Clinton. So did Reagan. So did
Nixon. Sure as hell did.
Well, he kind of brought that one on himself.
He kind of brought it on himself, yeah. But dude, I agree with you. It has never been. This is unprecedented. Of a fervor of drama surrounding any presidency. You can go all the way back to the days of Nixon. Slicky Rick is what they called him. You can go back to the days of Nixon, and there wasn't this much fervor behind him, and he was a straight up crook.
Yep.
And there still didn't have this type of visceral passion behind his presidency like we're experiencing now. Yeah, and this Nixon. Man, Orange Face, plays into it. He plays into it. I really think that his wee-wee fills with blood when he has drama surrounding him. I think he gets off on it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's his whole platform too.
And I saw some of the images pop up on Instagram when he was here. And I just look at those people and I'm like, I don't get, how can you get behind something so disjointed? How can you get behind something so that is just filled with confusion and lack? How can you literally I understand, look, I studied marketing. I understand that there's a market for everything, but how can you literally get up every day and look at yourself in the mirror and say, that man is doing America right? How? And my Republican friends are just so adamant about it. I mean, it's like he's the second coming of Jesus Christ.
But you're starting to see a divide between Republicans and Trump.
Oh, they're jumping ship like a motherfucker.
Yeah, because even Mitt Romney was out at the protests, walking with everyone.
Yep.
Now, why didn't that man run again? God damn it.
Now, the Black Lives Matter protest that Mitt Romney was a part of, I don't think that was anything protesting Trump, even though in certain way it was. I believe that was just him showing his support of the movement.
But you wouldn't see.
But
you wouldn't see
if Romney really wanted to get away from Trump, he would stand up and denounce him. He would join and grab.
But you know who did that? George Bush.
Yeah. They need to step up. That's what needs to happen. They need to step up and denounce. They need to denounce him, not the Democrats.
Need people who are currently in government that are Republicans to be like, I don't stand with this guy.
They need to.
He doesn't represent my party. He's not what I'm about.
But
if we have to take 4 years of a Democrat, I'll take it over Trump. Like it's.
But it's going to be very difficult because he's fired everyone that would have potentially done that. He's built up a fort around himself of yes-mammers.
It's insane, dude. I can't help. I probably shouldn't say this, but no one's listening anyway.
Oh, that's a vote of confidence.
I watched it, and what this was a young Republicans rally, right? That's what this was.
Was a Students for Trump, I believe, is what they were calling it.
And I couldn't help but make comparisons to like a Hitler Youth rally. That's what it felt like. It's what it felt like, dude. And he's like, my party's correct. These lefts are evil. Like literally saying like these people are evil. They've ruined the country. And it's like, dude, look at John McCain, which him and John McCain don't have a good history, but like when John McCain was running against Obama, and I disagree with John McCain on almost everything, but when he was running against Obama, someone asked him a question, you know, Obama's a Muslim and he's bad and he's evil and he's not from this country. What is your response to that? And his response was, Obama's a good man. If he wins, we're in good hands. I just have some differences of opinions than him.
Right.
And
that's
it's like
a respectable answer.
That is what it should be. Because we have differences of opinion, but we're all Americans. At least we're all supposed to be. It doesn't feel like that.
No, it doesn't. I don't know if you've seen the pictures of Obama hugging Bush, of Laura Bush hugging Michelle Obama, Clinton hugging Bush, Clinton hugging McCain. They were clearly, Republicans and Democrats. They clearly had different policies. They clearly had different views. But you know what? The one thing that they did have, they had a common human decency. And here's the thing. If these Trumpers
would at the very least respect.
Yeah. If these Trumpers would just rewind the tape to 3.5 years ago, Trump didn't even say he was a Republican. He wouldn't on the debate. He wouldn't even say I'm a Republican. He wouldn't say he was a Democrat either. He didn't claim a party.
Yeah, well, and I think his whole thing is like
until he found a party he could win on.
I don't even need to like make my own platform. I can just take over the Republican Party, and now this is the party of Trump. And
literally,
that's what's happening.
It's a totally different. The thing is, dude, there's no respect. You said that's the prime operative right there. There is zero respect. You can't have a differencing of an opinion when it comes to him. You can't. And I don't understand how these people are just, okay, that's fine. Well, he made the economy better and he created jobs. I don't care what he tweets. The foreign leaders don't even like him. You got foreign leaders speaking out against him. These are people that are going to, once Trump, figures out that, okay, well, I've destroyed this enough. I'm going to go build a hotel in Dubai now. See you guys later. When he leaves the state or when he leaves the country, those foreign leaders that have hated him, they're just waiting for him to slip up one good time so they can come in and conquer. Other countries still conquer other countries, folks.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's ridiculous. And the fact that COVID hit has now allowed us to sit down and really realize what this fucknut's all about. It's ridiculous. Just have some respect. You can have differencing of policies and difference of opinions, but give it a level of respect. Put some respect on the name, man.
And
no one's been hated more than you are right now.
You talked about the foreign leaders. The 2 foreign leaders that had like the most respectful interactions with Trump.
Go ahead and say it.
Were Putin.
Yep.
And Kim Jong-un.
2 of the worst Hitler-esque leaders in the world.
Mm-hmm. It's a known fact that Russia literally rigs their elections, so Putin is always the guy. And I don't even need to go into why North Korea is bad. We all know. That's
nothing new.
It's insane, dude. And now, like, North Korea seems like they're on the brink of doing some shit too. Like,
there's a sleeper somewhere, dude. The terrorists aren't even attacking us right now, and I don't think.
Well, they're all on lockdown too.
Well, I don't think it has anything to do with COVID. I think that the terrorists are just sitting back with their feet up, popping popcorn, just saying, "Hey, we're gonna watch America destroy themselves, and then we'll just come in and sweep up after they're done."
But actually,
we're literally eating ourselves from the inside out.
It's actually true that a lot of like ISIS had to actually bunker down too, because a lot of their people started dying of COVID. So like they're actually quarantining too because they're smart enough to quarantine.
That's true.
What does that say? ISIS is quarantining and we're not? Jeez.
Okay, I don't get it. I don't get it. Where do you stand on mask unless you have something more about Trump's visit?
Oh, no, I'm done with Trump. Fuck that guy.
Where do you stand on the masking?
Yeah, mask. Do it.
Why wouldn't you?
You know what's
so
interesting?
Simple.
I don't mean to because I know you're a Christian man, and I don't mean to bring your religion into this.
I have a faith. Yes.
Okay. I know you're a religious man, a man of faith.
I'm not a man of faith. There you go.
You are a man of faith.
I am.
But what I've noticed is, and actually AOC said some very good comments, I think it was today or yesterday, about, why is the only time we bring religion in for discrimination and hate?
Yeah.
That's the only time we bring it into politics. That was great. What she said was great. Go watch that. But I have found it interesting that a lot of the people who don't want to wear masks are religious people. Like a lot of church gatherings are happening and they're not wearing masks and they're like, Jesus will handle it or whatever it is. Buddha will handle it, whoever, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be discriminatory towards Christians. Just all religions suck. I
agree. Religions suck.
Yeah, organized religion is weird, but I just find it interesting because as a kid, right, one of the things, I have 2 uncles that are pastors, run churches, and so I grew up around that stuff. And, one of the things some of the people would tell me there was, well, look at it this way. This is what they would say to me. Look at it this way. If you don't believe and he is real, then you go to hell. But if you believe and he isn't real, nothing happens, right? That people would say that to me. And now those same people that use that analogy to me can't understand that if you wear a mask and it doesn't help, well, the worst case is you didn't wear a mask. But the best case scenario is it maybe prevented people from getting sick. So just wear the fucking mask.
It's just
it's so simple. Like, even if you think it doesn't do anything, just wear the mask. And also, I've noticed people wearing masks, and when you see another person walking down the street and they're wearing a mask, it's like a sign of solidarity. It's like, I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
We're in this together.
Mm-hmm.
And I am so thankful. Last week we were talking about how we weren't seeing many masks. This week has been a completely different story.
I was going to say 100%.
Everybody's wearing a mask, and I'm so thankful for that.
Yep. I will say that 95% of the people that I've seen at the grocery store when I picked up groceries, masking. Before we taped this show tonight, I needed to get something to eat because I hadn't eaten all day. And I decided to go up to Taco Bell because Taco Bell is like the one fast food place that does 100% contactless food delivery. Yeah. And I went to Taco Bell, but I really wanted a burger and fries. I really did. And so I ended up going to Taco Bell anyway. My conscience just didn't allow me to do it. But across the street from the Taco Bell is a Whataburger. So I got my Taco Bell and then I went and I parked in the parking lot of the Whataburger because I just wanted to see how Whataburger was handling this. The person at the window had on a mask, had on gloves, but were still taking everybody's cash and credit cards with those gloves and then grabbing your food bags and giving them to you instead of the way Taco Bell does it. If they extend the credit card machine out of the window, you put your credit card machine, your card in, it reads it, it approves it, you take your card out, then they serve you your food on a tray. You touch the bag, you put it into your car, and then you drive away. Whataburger, unfortunately, wasn't doing the tray. I know damn well they have trays. They weren't doing the trays, and they were still taking credit cards and cash in the same gloved hand that they were grabbing bags of food with. So I looked at that and I says, well, this Whataburger isn't a place that I'm going to go.
Yeah, I mean,
it's very simple to do what we're asked to do. But the reason why people don't want to do it is also very, very simple, because people don't like to be told what to do.
Well, and it's like, I don't understand why the companies wouldn't do it, because all it does is, even if it's not helping at all, it still gives off like a false sense of security.
Yeah,
which is better than nothing. Yeah, which is better than nothing. You might as well do that. I don't understand why the companies aren't telling you to do anything. It's just the companies taking initiative, right?
Yeah.
So I don't get that at all.
This is literally in part the commercial that I wrote for my 10-year-old niece to read, and she'd read it and we released it and people loved it. I got hate. Actually, someone got deleted and blocked off of my other show, Fat Guy Radio Show's Facebook page, because they made a very derogatory comment under the picture of me with a simulated mask on, joining forces with the Mask Up Arizona movement. But the commercial in part that I wrote for my 10-year-old niece literally says, when I paint at school, I wear a smock. When I bake cookies, I take the cookie sheet out of the oven, I wear pot holders or gloves. When it rains, I wear a raincoat. When it's cold, I wear a jacket. When I go to the pool, I wear sunscreen. And it ends with, we all wear things to protect ourselves from something. What's so different about wearing a mask?
It's so true, dude.
Literally, it is so simple. I had to have a 10-year-old do it. And we're in the process of cutting an actual video commercial of this. It's, it's all, images over the voice, but it's so simple, man. I don't get why people are outraged or just refusing to wear a mask, or why governors are afraid to mandate it. It's the same people that don't want to wear a mask are also the same people that say the government overreaches. But if you just did the right thing, without the government having to step in, they wouldn't overreach. But we force their hands because we buck against the system. They're not telling you to wear a mask because they're a Republican or a Democrat. You wear a mask for your neighbor. I wear a mask for you.
And that's totally what it's turned into, though.
I know, but it has nothing to do with that. It's literally human decency, and it goes back to the word that you said earlier, respect. We don't respect each other. We don't honor each other's well-being. If you're a Republican and I'm a Democrat, I'm supposed to hate you. We're supposed to hate each other. It's not the fact that, oh my God, you're a human being and there's a deadly virus that is running rampant on the planet right now. And the only way to protect you is for me to wear a mask, and the only way for you to protect me is for you to wear a mask. That doesn't enter into our minds anymore. It's human decency. It's respect. Nothing more.
Yep.
Holy shit, bunkers.
Cory.
Yes, Jake.
I just want to say thank you for giving me this outlet to speak and vent my frustrations, I guess.
I know, and I hate that we end the show, or we come closer to a close on a bad note. Can I bring up one quick thing after you're done giving your accolades to me? Because I do love it when you accolade me.
You're beautiful. I can't wait to see you in person and just pinch your cheeks, both your cheeks and your butt cheeks.
Thank you.
Actually started a hashtag today, which was spread cheeks, not corona.
You know, when I see you for the first time, I'm just going to walk up to you backwards.
Oh, dude, I'm ready for it. It's just
going to walk up to you backwards. We have a few minutes left here in the show. Real quick, Jake.
Yeah, for sure.
Metro Center Mall in Central Phoenix is closing their doors permanently at the end of June.
I heard about this.
Yeah, my question was, their doors were still open?
Well, I think this is like the future of every mall, right? Like,
they're blaming it on COVID, dude. That mall has been drecked for the last 10 years.
Well, they say like once the anchor stores go, everything goes, and those anchor stores haven't been there for years.
Dude, they have
once you get a Walmart inside of your mall, that's a bad sign.
They and then Walmart built themselves on that mall, but they're not physically attached. Now, I don't know how true this is, but I saw some drawings that surfaced online that shows how Walmart built themselves up against Metro Center, and there is like a 3-foot gap between the actual
it's smart
part of the mall, the actual piece of the mall versus Walmart, literally meaning that if the mall crumbled, Walmart would still stand on its own.
It's smart because they're like, we can be close to a mall, so anyone shopping can still come over to Walmart. But once that mall inevitably closes, we're still good to stay open. It's super smart.
Same thing with Spectrum Mall. Spectrum Mall, the old Christown Mall, it has a Walmart, but in order to get from the Walmart into the mall, you have to walk down this hall to get into the mall, meaning that if the mall crumbles, Walmart can easily just lob off that hallway and they're no longer connected to the mall.
Yeah.
But Metro Center, after 37 years, is going down. They released a letter this past week that they are shutting their doors for the last time at the end of June. My honest question was, I didn't realize that mall was even still open, and I think the only thing that was holding it up was like 3 or 4 stores in the food court, GameStop, and then the $5 movies, which I went to one movie. I went to one outing there for $5, and it was the worst experience I've ever had in my life. It was the most scariest thing ever. I was afraid I was going to get rickrolled in the parking lot.
I will say, their food court, they remodeled it like 2 years ago, and it was popping, dude.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
Yeah, not well. Dude, I have a strange obsession, and I did for a while, where I would watch old videos, or not old videos, new videos of old malls, like old closed down malls, where this dude would just go to these closed down malls and just walk around these dead malls. So fascinating. Yeah. The talks for that Metro Center one, though, I read a little bit about this. They want to turn it into a like medical complex.
That's pretty much what happened to the back end of the old Park Central Mall in downtown Phoenix. Mm-hmm. That's what happened. It became all corporate center and offices and doctors' offices and stuff like that.
Yeah, what else do you do?
It can
with
be
those
done,
things?
but I think it'd be kind of challenging for Metro Center, because Metro Center kind of sits in the armpit of a not so good part of Central Phoenix. Central
Eh,
North Phoenix. That's not a very good area up there.
eh,
It's a
it's
little
not.
it's a little shady.
It's not. It's not as bad as it used to be.
Well, I haven't been there in probably a couple of years,
Yeah,
but when
it's
I
not as
was
bad as
there,
it used to be.
it's not a desirable area. The store that I go to is Burlington, and they're across the street.
Dude, I wonder if Castles and Coasters is gonna make it.
Castles and Coasters is going to continue to make it because Castles and Coasters, they face right to the front door of Walmart.
Yeah,
Castles
but
and
COVID.
Coasters. Oh well, yeah. I don't know how they're doing right now.
Yeah,
I don't think. Well, the theme parks, like the water theme park in Mesa, was set to reopen, and then they shut it down again.
yeah.
Water World or Big Surf or whatever it is up by my house in North Phoenix,
Six
off of
Flags. Yeah.
Six Flags. They said that they were going to open up, and then they backed out of that real quick. Disneyland just this last week also announced that their plans to reopen in July have now been postponed. Disneyland Anaheim decided to not do that.
Yeah, and they just announced that.
Yeah, they just announced it, so it's like,
Like they just announced that they were gonna open, and then they were like, "No, that's probably not a good idea."
Yeah, they said no, we're not. They're not going to do it. The precautions aren't necessarily working right now, and the precautions aren't working is because people, they don't care. It's the same reason why every year we have such a high flu season. Same reason every year why we have a whole lot of people catching the cold. It's because people just don't care, man. We live in a world where people just literally don't care.
Yeah. Well, I love talking about movies on this show, and I think we'll talk more about movies next week. But I do want to know where where do you see the movie theaters? Because they're supposed to open in the middle of next month. Do you think they're gonna actually do it?
I think that the stupid people that don't want to shelter to protect their fellow neighbor are going to go to movie theaters.
But do you think they're gonna make that decision to reopen,
I think
or do
that
you think they'll postpone it?
I think that it depends on where the wave is, because you have to realize this thing can totally take a left turn in the next 48 hours. We don't know.
It's true.
So it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to predict, but I
Especially
think
with Trump gallivanting all around the country.
yeah,
just like,
he's show, and then and then of course he says, we want the numbers to go down, stop testing. Yeah,
freaking idiot,
if
dude.
if you wanted to save money on gasoline, just stop buying gas.
Well, dude, you know what I think? And this might sound fucked up to say, but I think him doing the rallies, I think he thinks like this is going to help him. Like, I'm going to do these rallies. I think it's going to hurt him really bad, because I think the more of these rallies he does, the more the COVID cases are going to go up, and the more people are going to see, wow, this guy is an irresponsible dick and he's killing people.
And everywhere every state he's gone to has had a rise in cases.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see with Phoenix. That just happened on Thursday. So
We set a record. We're winning.
yeah, we're already really high. So if his thing made us go up even higher, Jesus.
And it's not so much, folks, about the COVID cases. It's about the fact that our hospitals are filling up, if not already full.
Yeah.
This is what we feared from the beginning, is overrunning our hospitals. And I heard from a very reliable source at a very large health organization here in Phoenix, in Arizona, is actually flying in nurses from other states because they don't have staffing for people. Ventilators are in the 98th percentile of utilization. And what's really sad is that if you're at a point where the percentage of you coming off of a ventilator and being able to dance around this planet is very low. Ventilators are pretty much almost, the precursor to the death certificate in most cases. So
Yeah.
you can look at the numbers all day, folks. What you should be focusing in on is what's going on in these hospitals. That's the true threat. Because if you don't have anybody out there or any hospitals that are going to be able to deal with people, it's time to start digging mass graves, because people will literally start dying in the street.
I have a cousin, and he's a firefighter, and his wife is a nurse. True
Oof.
American couple, really.
Whew.
But yeah, the nurse is just like, you wouldn't believe. You would not believe.
It's a war zone. It's a war zone in those hospitals right now.
Yeah.
It's sad, folks. If anybody that's listening to this, do your part. Do your part. Don't be selfish. Be uncomfortable for a little bit. Your temporary discomfort is going to really pay off for the long-term survival.
And you don't want to get that test because it goes like deep in your nose. That looks uncomfortable.
It's very, very uncomfortable. And it got very close to my home too, just this last week, where my best friend's son, who I've known for 30 some odd years, got exposed. Thank baby Jesus. His test came back negative. Because my best friend has a heart condition and she lives with her son. So if her son would have tested positive, that would have exposed my best friend. And she's 60-something years old and has an underlying heart condition. She wouldn't have survived it if she would have caught it. And having that conversation with her on the phone, dude, it rips your heart apart. And you have to realize this, another thing, folks. When these young people are out there, I think the biggest mistake we made through this whole pandemic is telling young folks that they're not really that affected by it, and they'll survive it.
Well,
because a lot of the young people are going out there and they're just partying up. I'm not saying everybody, Jake.
well, I want to push back though, because I recently, everywhere that I'm looking, in all these fucking bars, and beforehand, when it was people that weren't wearing the masks here, it's always these fucking biker bars or whatever like that, with these old people who think it like whatever. And when I was out and about and people weren't wearing masks, it wasn't the young people, it was the fucking old people, dude. Not all old people.
The recent rise in cases, Jake, age 20 to 40 years old. That's where the spikes are right now.
Yeah, well, that's a big age range.
20 to 40 years old. And what they're doing is that the younger generations are not realizing that they can go back and affect the older generations. They're not computing that. They're honestly not computing that. You got 22-year-olds, 21-year-olds laying up in hospital beds, Instagramming their pains.
Well, if it's 20 to 40-year-olds, then they're not infecting the older people, right?
Aha. They are affecting the older people.
Got them.
We do your part. Don't be selfish, folks. It's a temporary discomfort that you're not doing it for you. You're doing it for people that are vulnerable. And you can't see vulnerability just like you can't see the coronavirus. Just be smart. And the government wouldn't have to step in and mandate anything if we just did the right thing as a human being.
And if you're listening to this and you're religious, you can't see God, you can't see Corona. And God isn't going to protect you from this because God gave you free will, right? That's the whole thing. That's the whole shebang of the Bible, right? He gave you free will.
Not the whole shebang, but it's in there.
Well, the other thing is like forgiveness for being stupid about Corona, but he'll forgive you for it, but you need to fucking fix it.
Oh my God, wrap this show up. It's 4:00 in the morning.
Well, Cory, thanks for partaking so late at night.
Yeah, and thank you for not wearing pants.
I took them off halfway through the show. Yeah. Anyway. No, seriously. Tomorrow we've got the Loner Gamecast, and it's going to be a stacked show. A lot of controversies and drama are happening in the gaming sphere right now.
Is Nick Sapon going to be on?
Nick Sapon will be on.
There goes
a lot
my
of
pants.
Controversies, a lot of sexual allegations and misconduct, and like over 70 people in the gaming industry have come out against different gaming studios and people within games media as well. So we're going to delve into that and talk about that tomorrow. It's a horrible thing. I hate to see that happen in my beautiful gaming community, but it is a thing, and we should talk about it. Also, on Thursday, I believe, we're going to be dropping a spoiler cast for The Last of Us Part 2. So definitely check that out. I have so much to say about that game. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about it. Cory, check out Cory, Fat Guy Radio Show. You can find him literally anywhere. You can find him down the street from your house. He's literally everywhere, man.
Yeah, I'm out there wearing a mask and gloves. And this coming Thursday is a special 4th of July all music show. So let Fat Guy Radio Show be your background for your 4th of July social distancing celebrations.
Well, thanks for hanging out, everyone. Bye-bye.
I really wish you let me do the closing because it's so bad.
Oh, you're so bad. You ruined it.
You have on pants. Shut up.